Yeah, it's great to be here. Obviously, great to be a part of this unbelievable tournament, the best sporting event in the world. I've said that for 7 years now. It's the best sporting event in the world. I really believe that. It's the most dramatic, exciting few weeks, and we've been a part of some great wins and some tough losses, and that's part of March Madness. That's why they call it March Madness. So we're thrilled to be a part of it. Obviously, our guys have earned this opportunity. We're playing an outstanding team, an outstanding program in Loyola. Got tremendous respect for what they've done, how hard their kids play, how physical they are. I think they're as hard as playing and as physical as any team we played all year. They're really as good as any team we played all year. There's no question about it. They've got older guys who are really good players, tremendous culture, well coached. So it's a great challenge for us here. It's certainly as challenging as first game as I've been a part of. So we're excited for it. I know our guys are. We're getting healthier. We'll know more on Kyle and Zed here tomorrow, but they are getting healthier. The final decision will be made tomorrow.
Strom with 11 Warriors. Coach, with Drew being a first-year head coach in the NCAA tournament, I'm just wondering what you remember about your first experience being a head coach in the tournament, handling the pressure in the moment, and then maybe how your approach has kind of changed over the years with repeat appearances and going into this year as well.
Yeah, I think actually my first appearance was here, I think. We beat Texas and then lost to Notre Dame, if I've got that right. I think it was in this arena. The Notre Dame game was an overtime loss, a really tough one. I can remember just about every play in the final last few minutes. I think it's just, I think you're really focused on your team, coaching your team, getting your guys prepared. That's really what it's about. It's not, obviously it's a big stage, but it's not any different than, I'm sure he's working hard to prepare his team. He's got a veteran group that's been here that's very experienced in these kind of games. And I know that always helps when you have that. When I coached my first year, we had a couple guys that had played in the tournament, actually several guys, and that helped me. I know that always helps when you have that level of experience.
Adam Jardy at the Columbus Dispatch. We just heard from EJ, and he said, I feel like people forget how we played when we were fully healthy and locked in and everything. Do you remember what you play like when you were fully healthy? And if you do, what does that look like, and could that look like this time of year?
Yeah, we played well. We played really well when we're healthy. Now, when we're fully healthy, we didn't always play well, but most times we played really well and had some great wins and played really well in stretches. And I think that's, and we're talking about fully healthy given the fact that, we also had a couple season-ending injuries. But when we had our group that was available, I think we had some really good stretches of play. And I think our guys remember that. At the same time, listen, it's a challenge in front of us to play well, whatever the case is regarding our injury situation. That's the challenge in front of us.
Zach Miller with the Loyola Phoenix. I just wanted to ask, you mentioned the physicality of the team, but what are some of the other intangibles you're looking out for when you're coming into a game like this against Loyola?
Well, I just think, I think their experience is tremendous. They've been through these games. They've been, played in a Final Four. They've been through a number of these games. They beat the number 1 seed from our league last year to go to the Sweet 16. So I think they've got, you can't discount their experience, but they also have very, very good players, very talented team. Williamson's going to play in the NBA. They've got very good players. So, and they're older. I know they added some transfers that have been really helpful for this group and really important. They've got great athleticism, really good team.
Hey, Coach Clay Hall, ABC 6, Fox 28. Not to belabor this, but do you see Kyle and Zed increasing their workload each day? Are they able to do more for instance, in your
Yeah.
workout this morning?
We have seen him do a little more, Clay, but it's not like they've been able to do full practices. But they have been able to do a little more, which has been encouraging to see, despite not being able to do full practices.
Colin Gay, Rivals. I'm curious, after the Michigan game, you were talking about the one in Ann Arbor. You were talking about how E.J. Liddell kind of carried or kind of set the tone defensively in what you guys do. And I'm curious, especially heading into this stretch, this tournament, does he kind of take initiative, that leadership, like kind of where he goes, you guys go? Has he kind of felt that weight heading into his final tournament? Or?
Yeah, you're talking about the win on the road there. Yeah. Yeah. I think he showed good leadership. But it's got to be more than just him that carries the leadership load. And I think Kyle's not a super vocal guy, but we've missed his leadership kind of on the floor, and his steadiness on the floor. And I think EJ's missed that when he's been out. Jamari's done a good job, and Justin has, but EJ's he's certainly taken a major role in that.
Will.
Will Graves, Associated Press. Chris, do you see any similarities with where Loyola is at now, where Butler was 15, 20, 25 years ago? I mean, the train was moving when you got there because of what Brad had done in TAD.
Yeah.
But I mean, and what impresses you? I mean, do you get the sense by watching them, their success is not tied to one player or one coach like you find with some teams that kind of bubble up and kind of float back down?
Yeah, great similarities. Great similarities. And I think Porter deserves tremendous credit for that because he built that. And I know he struggled in his first, I think, whatever it was, 5 or 6 years maybe. But he and his staff deserve great credit for that. Great similarities. Older teams, really tough guys, tremendous culture. And they're as good as any team in the country. I think we understand that now. I don't think they have a label. Obviously, they're joining the A10. It's not like they're quote-unquote mid-major. They're a really, really good program that has had a ton of success, NCAA tournament success. But, yeah, I mean, it's one of those really elite programs in the country, and they've earned that.
Hi, Lou Calzada from the Loyola Phoenix. So you talked a little bit about what it's going to be like to play Loyola, and obviously, they're known for what a strong defense they have. From a coaching perspective, what are going to be some of your keys for having your players really break through that defense?
Yeah, I think there's a resolve you have to have. You understand there could be some clunky possessions. They're really good defensively, as good as any team we've played all year, maybe the best defensive team we played all year. So you're going to have to weather some potential scoring droughts, and you're going to have to be tough-minded enough to weather that because they're that good defensively.
Craig Meyer from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. When you brought in Jamari Wheeler, Chris, I mean, what sort of expectations did you have for him as far as the role that he'd fill for y'all, and how has he lived up to those expectations and hopes that you had for him?
Yeah, Jamari's been great. We initially brought him in expecting that our guy that's with the Indiana Pacers, Dwayne Washington, would be back. We went after Jamari right after the season last year, so it was really quick. And we just anticipated Dwayne so we thought it'd be a great component there to kind of a scoring-minded two-guard and then a guy that could really ball hawk. Obviously, Dwayne stayed in the draft, so Jamari's had to pick up a little bit of offensive load. He's done a good job. I think he's been able to kind of be Jamari for us, and we're certainly going to need that tomorrow.
Bill Landis from The Athletic. Chris, I know Kyle, when he's available, impacts you guys in myriad ways, but I'm wondering what makes him so effective on the defensive end for you. You look at the on and off numbers there. When he's available, you guys are just a much better defensive team. Is it versatility, or is there more to it than that?
I think it's activity, for one. He's really active, and it is versatility. It's activity and versatility, and then he helps our rebounding a lot too. I think those two things. He's also, gotten smarter as he's gotten older and how to defend and play. But just the versatility that he provides. I feel like I've banged that drum for, months now. I think that's really important. But his activity is pretty good too when he's playing like Kyle.
Coach Jim Matson from 25 News in Peoria. We cover Illinois State University. And Ryan Petten, how much has him impact been for you at Ohio State, and how ready is he for Illinois State?
Oh, he's more than ready. He's more than ready. He's going to do a phenomenal job. He's going to do a phenomenal job for that program. It was a great hire. I know it's a great job. He's excited about it. He's obviously focused on us right now, but the community will love him.
Chris, EJ's done a lot of great things in his career, and we know that he's going to be moving on at the end of the season. But when you think about what is still out there for him at this level, how much does NCAA tournament success matter to a player's legacy?
Well, I think it does. It does, and I think he recognizes that. And obviously, 1 year got taken away from him when he played an important role on that team. So he would have been an important role on that team playing in NCAA tournament games. And I think that would have given him valuable experience. But sure, there's no question. I think that's the case. I know he's excited and looking forward to the opportunity.
Stephen Means, Cleveland.com. Trying to follow up on that. I don't think we've asked you since it came out. EJ made an All-American team. Just looking back on his career, and I know it's not over given what you guys are going to do tomorrow, but just looking back on from the moment you recruited him to now and how his career's kind of turned out here.
Yeah, no, so proud of EJ. Yeah, so proud of EJ for the career he's had, but for the year he's had and his ability to get better. He's improved by almost every metric. And we talked about his growth as a player. I'm really happy for him. I'm proud of him. It's a great honor. We had some great individual honors on this year's group, and I'm happy for those guys that earned that because they certainly did. When you get a postseason award in any league, you've earned it through your play throughout the season. So couldn't happen to a better kid.
Steve Hellwagon, 24/7 Sports. I asked the players about what the mood around the team's been the last 3 weeks when some things maybe didn't go your way. Just they said you and the coaches have done a good job of keeping it positive, learning from the mistakes, and trying to spin it forward in a positive manner. Just what part of you has to be the sports psychologist to kind of manage this team through this lull and get them back up for this event?
Yeah, I probably got to be a sports psychologist for myself first. After that, yeah, that's I think there is a dynamic of that, Steve, for sure. There's a perspective required in college basketball that's like different in college football because of the number of games and the league play. You try to do, exactly what they said. You try to make the necessary improvements. I don't think you can ignore the things that need to be improved, and yet at the same time bring perspective to your group and hopefully an optimism of what's ahead. That's been what we've tried to do.
Last question for Coach.
Chris, you've got a lot of guys that don't have NCAA tournament experience. You do have a lot of tournament experience. When you go into this, how much do you have to talk to the guys who haven't been here about, sure, every game, 40 minutes is a roller coaster, but this is a completely different animal that you have to deal with emotionally? Yeah,
we'll talk about it. I'll share some of my experiences. Yeah, we'll discuss it. You're right. I think there's an experience element that's different with obviously the Loyola team than what our team faces. So we'll talk about it. We won't dwell on it too much, but we'll talk about it. Maybe try to give them a couple things to help kind of free their minds a little bit.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.